Hi all, welcome to this Road to the Final Upgrades review. This is basically going over all the cards that have a Road to the Final card at the moment and kind of breaking down if they are going to get an upgrade, if so, what would obviously go to, and then obviously talking about is it worth kind of like trading in them or investing them in due course. So if you can smash links would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at GIsLegend. All links are down below for posting the channel and social media links as always. So looking at the Road to the Final cards from this first set, quite a good pile to work with. We have 19 cards in all, and in all honesty, looking at the first set, Handanovic, he's around 65-70k. Inter Milan don't look like they're going to be going through, because they obviously lost to Dortmund the other night, which kind of derailed their hopes. So Inter look like that might become a Europa League live card, and as a result would not receive a boost, so it would stay an 89 rated card. So you kind of then need to rely on Inter Milan going deep into the Europa League knockout stage to see any damage, but then it could still be a very nice card if they were to get quite deep in that competition. Then Juan Jesus, he's like 30k at the moment, 81 raid. They currently sit third in their group, which is not ideal, to be honest. So I would say if you've got Juan Jesus, be wary, because there's 3 points that just separate the entire group, and I would say it definitely leaves a bit of room to be cautious about. Militao 84, I meant to say as well with Juan Jesus, as far as I believe his boost would be an 84, but I have seen like Footbin quoting it would be like an 82, so it'd be interesting to see if they've tweaked the upgrade system this year, because it should be an 84 because that's what usually an inform boost is. Militao 84, we would assume if the upgrade is right for him he would go to an 86 and would actually be quite nice. He's 450k, 81 pace, 84 defending physical. You kind of want Real Madrid to go as late as possible, but they currently sit second in their group, and I would say, despite being like they are pretty much through, just because of however teams in the group are, but you've got to be wary at the same time. Vendel is just pretty much just not even got a chance of seeing a boost for Champions League, but also may not even have one in general. This card could become pretty redundant very, very quickly, because Bayer Leverkusen sit bottom of their group, and also with 2 games remaining, like Lokomotiv Moscow might just do enough just to sneak through either on goal difference or through results in general to get them through the third. So Vendel could be quite a wasteful card, and his card could pretty much hit discard, so it might be one to keep an eye on with 2 games remaining, especially due to that. Mane, fairly straightforward. He is 89, first boost will go to 90, sitting pretty comfortably top of their group at the moment, and I would imagine they should go through looking at who they have left. So we would assume, hopefully on that they would get through, and hopefully if they were to do a good run again they would be quite sorted. Then Kante, 90 rated. Chelsea sit second on 7 points with Lille and Valencia to play. I'd assume 4 points should be enough for him. Kante honestly could end up being like a team of the season, team of the year type card. Can't go for like 1 million coins. Mane 1.5, so it's quite a big spend. Alan is 86 raid for a 290k spend at the moment. Napoli sit currently in second place, just behind Liverpool. They are looking set on 8 points themselves, so hopefully, if depending with who they have left to play in Genk and Liverpool, they might get the result, one of the 2 results that they may need, and it will be interesting from there. Mahrez, Man City look through on 10 points, so that first boost will happen. 87 rated is what that will go to, and he is actually not too reasonably priced at 280k at the moment. Son is 1.9 million. Tottenham sit pretty comfortably in second on 7 points, so look set for an upgrade. They've still got Olympiacos to play, which kind of helps them a little bit if they get a result there. But the Bayern Munich game could be the one that may swing it against, so keep that in mind. Like, even though they could get a result against Olympiacos, or even just a draw, it could be the Bayern Munich game that could just completely make it horrible for them. So they're not 100% guaranteed through, but they look pretty comfortable. Then Raul Jimenez, he is looking set for Wolves. I'd imagine it'll go to an 85, but we're not 100% certain. But it's 9 points. They look pretty comfortable, and in all honesty, for his kind of like potential upgrades, he looks quite half decent. He's 38k at the moment. Then on to like the bench and reserves. Just talking about like them. Vass, he is 35k. Like Chelsea and Ajax's group, they are sit third. It's goal difference that's kind of making the difference, and so. But we think 4 points might just be enough to seal them through. Kingsley Coman, Bayern through, so that is basically an upgrade. So that's an 87. They sit on 12 points. That's Tottenham's group for those curious. Barcelona is Ousmane Dembele. They look pretty comfortable at 9 points. They would have been guaranteed if they'd got a result against Slavia Prague the other night. But he looks not too shabby, honestly, Ousmane Dembele, and I can imagine him being quite popular. He's like 700k. Kingsley Coman's 290. Neres, 84 rated. Would assume he would go to an 86 rated. He's 55k at the moment. And Ajax, they would kind of need 4 points from their remaining 2 games to kind of maybe have a good chance of getting themselves through. Lille and Valencia is who Ajax face in their remaining games. Then Jadon Sancho, Dortmund look pretty comfortable on 8 points as they're in Inter Milan's group, and I would assume because they got the result they needed the other night against Inter Milan, that should help them out immensely, and he will be popular. I'm surprised he's only 250k. I think it's just maybe that physical that's putting a few folk off, but I think if people are aware that it's like, well, Dortmund's basically through, so it's like an 87 rated card, then it may help a little bit, but we'll see how it progresses. And Mbabu's obviously a free card because that's through objectives, and in honesty, Wolfsburg look pretty set at the moment. Looking at their group, he's sitting second, which would put them through, but they also of course need results to go their way because only 2 points separate second to fourth, so they kind of need to hope and pray that they can get results in their remaining group games. And then final player to discuss is Joe Gomez. He is obviously the SBC card at the moment, 350k, and if the upgrade boost is correct that we hope, he would go to an 85, and then so you're basically doing an SBC for an 85 rated card at 350k. Would he be worth it? It's a big gamble, but you've got to remember as well that Militao is 100k more expensive and he plays for Real Madrid, so maybe in theory, like you've got to remember Militao would be going to an 86 if the upgrades are what we believe, and Gomez would be an 85, so you'd have not too much difference between them. It's like the pace is what folk are wanting, and if you're at least giving it +1 or +2 in the pace, then it becomes a much more usable card in terms of everything. So we'll see how it goes, but for what we also are led to believe, Corona is one card as well. I think that was like an 84 Europa League live card. I actually don't see Porto going through for what I would imagine going by their group. So if because they play in Rangers group and they don't look like they are in the best position, to be honest. So I would say if you are a Porto fan, or someone that maybe even has like a Liga NOS based team, that because Porto sit bottom of the group for their respective one, Young Boys top, Rangers second, and then Feyenoord and Porto third and fourth. Rangers still have Young Boys and Feyenoord. Porto have Young Boys and Feyenoord themselves. So I would say, because I would imagine they'll beat Feyenoord in Portugal, they may struggle against Young Boys or at least get a draw. So Porto could sneak through as second, Rangers themselves may go through as top, who knows, a long way to go. But in terms of upgrades and boosts, Kante would go to 96, Dybala 95, Mane 95, Handanovic 95, Son 94. Then from there we're led to believe it would be Sancho, Dembele, Coman, Allen, Mahrez would all be 92s. Neres and Militao's 91, Vass, Jimenez, Gomez, Dumfries, Mbabu, Juan Jesus, Vendel, all 90s. But that depends how the upgrade formula works. We'll hopefully get explain fully properly if they break it down for us. Also, it depends as well what the second batch is, because the second batch may bring like Europa League live options more instead of the like Champions League, because most of the big teams are already covered here. So we'll see what the second batch brings, but hopefully you find what I've explained with all of the respective road to the final cards from here makes like sense, and it gives you an idea of where you feel is wise to put your coins. Like in Babu, regardless, I'd be saying do them, because it's like a free card. Like all you're really giving up is time and like contracts, but that's probably, he's still worth having because he looks pretty usable. But hopefully still, as I said, find this useful, folks. Let me know in the comments down below who you're going to be looking to get. Smash like as always, subscribe to the channel for new, follow me on Twitter, GZLegend, and I'll catch you all later.